because I'm going to show you a couple of use cases, and for each and every use case we will explore some tools that you can actually use either in its free or in its paid form to assist your academic research activity here at the university. Now, since I know for a fact that you are using AI pretty much on a daily basis, I certainly do not want to say anything that you already know. That wouldn't really make much sense, right? So as you can see in the top part, I have a lot of tools in stock, so you will decide which one you would like to hear more about, okay? So first things first, in what way did AI kind of change the way we look for information? That's, I think, the first question that we need to address in such a practical workshop. Hands up if you use Perplexity. Okay, that's 1, 2. All right. So myself, I'm using Perplexity by now much more than I use Google. Why? Because it provides much better answers to my search queries. So this is not, Perplexity is not a generative AI platform per se. It is a search engine. It actually competes against Google. So it's a search engine that is coupled with a large language model to provide you with tailor-made answers to your search queries. And one thing that makes it particularly good for us in terms of research is that if you start off with a simple question, you can ask it to do a more thorough and more deeper research with this small icon here. And then here, if you click on this globe icon, you can switch on academic. Right? So what does this mean, and why is this good for us? Obviously, because if you do this small trick, then it will start compiling the answer using open access academic resources only. Right? So there will be no tabloid journalism mixed into the answers. This will only be open access academic journals, mostly from Semantic Scholar or other sources. So the question was quite simple. What's the difference between artificial general intelligence and superintelligence? And what you will see is that after it provides the answer, you can check the sources, right? And that's the important part. The colleagues here at the previous session, I think pretty much all of them mentioned how important it is to double check the outputs that you receive as part of your interaction with any generative AI tool. So I can only re-emphasize that. So you can scroll down here and look whether these sources that it used to compile your answer can be considered credible or not. Right? So I very much recommend using Perplexity even for very basic questions and search queries. Okay, so next platform, and this is one of the very basic use cases of AI. If you have a very limited amount of time to scroll or peruse through various literature that you would like to digest for your research, then you can use several tools that can help you with that. You just simply upload the PDF file that contains a certain study, and then you can ask targeted questions about that particular study. And what's really nice about this tool, it's that you don't even need to bother downloading the actual PDF, because you take the URL code. So this is a recent study that I wrote together with the artificial intelligence dean Csaba Csáky. It's called AI and Ethics. And so let's say you want to have certain questions about this article, you want to extract certain information, but you don't have the time to read through it. So what you can do is that you go to ChatPDF. You can either upload the document here, since it's open access, you can feel free to download it, or you can scroll down a bit, paste the URL, and then it will upload it to an interface where you can ask targeted questions about it. By the way, this works for pretty much anything. So if you want to do research about how to do your, I don't know, tax returns, or how to communicate with the Revenue Commission or something, you can do that as well. So this communication pretty much works with any kind of web page, right? And that's very convenient for us. And then you can ask all sorts of questions, and as you can see, that also provides us with some options beforehand, like how do universities ensure accountability when students use AI tools. One of the benefits of these kind of tools is that this will not start hallucinating the answer for me. Yeah? So you provided the actual PDF, you ask targeted questions about that PDF specifically, and that's where you will get the answers from. So here's the answer it compiled, plus, and this is accurate by the way, plus that's again very important for our point of view, is that you can double check the sources here. Right? So if you can see those small numbers, those contain the sources where it compiled the information from, right? So you don't need to take it at face value. You can double check it, and you should double check the things that you receive. Now, as I mentioned, there are many tools similar to this. The reason why Coral AI should be on your radar, especially if you're doing interview-related research. Is anybody here doing research that involves semi-structured interviews? Perfect. Well, then good news. So this is the free version, but if you're using the paid version, I'm not sure how much it costs. But one thing that you can do is that you can upload multiple sources and ask questions about them at the same time, right? And this is very good if you want to explore common parts in several different documents. So if you had like 5 interviews, you want to ask, okay, did anybody say anything about income inequality? Then it will scroll through all of those 5 documents or the transcripts of those 5 interviews, and it will give you an answer about how your interview respondents mentioned income inequality in their responses to you. So this is a very nice, neat function. And also, as you can see, you can chat with YouTube videos, which is quite neat in itself, because if you click on it, then it will provide you with the transcript of the YouTube video. And then you can print this out or save it for yourself. You go read it later if that's something you would like to do. So it's kind of a very versatile and very nice tool. So Coral AI is certainly something I would recommend. Now, AnswerThis.io. This is a tool I recently got acquainted with, and one of the things I was interested about is the opportunity to explore research gaps. So what is a research gap? Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it?
I want to cry.
Right, so you all know what a research gap is. So normally a research cycle starts like you read a lot of literature, and hopefully one day you find something that has not yet been covered or not properly covered by the existing body of literature. So the reason why these kind of tools are, and this is good but not perfect, so it will be able to find some research gaps for you, but it's still not as good enough to like copy paste it to your dissertation, so you still need to work on it. But the tool is there for you to find these gaps. And so the reason why large language models can find these is actually pretty simple. If you read a research paper, then you know for a fact that usually in the discussion section, the author would discuss the limitations of the study or certain avenues that are worth exploring for future research. right? So the text is there. You just need to find it. And this is what this tool is capable of. So if you write a proper code, by the way, artificial intelligence is just one of my research topics. Initially, my research resolves or pertains to minority rights and minority advocacy. So what I asked is to identify and summarize concrete research gaps at the intersection of minority protection and artificial intelligence, right? And then I give some additional guardrails for the model. Focus your analysis specifically on the discussion and limitation sections of existing peer-reviewed literature. Extract unresolved questions, under-theorized issues, and areas where current findings are inconclusive or missing. If you want, I could send this prompt to you so you don't have to formulate it for yourself. So you know my email address, so feel free to send it to me. In the free version, of course, if it finds a lot of answers, like it found 42 papers that correspond somehow to this prompt, I will only be able to check out 5 of them, right? So that's obviously a limitation. But nonetheless, this is pretty cool, because if you just look at it, here is this particular ethical AI through a bias mitigation of large language models, a review. Okay, very nice. The paper identifies several key research gaps in bias mitigation for LLMs. Data limitations, culture variations, fairness, accuracy, trade-offs. There are unresolved tensions between models, performance, and fairness. There's a need for deeper causal approaches to bias mitigation, and so on and so forth. Right? So you can just feel free to explore these kind of existing gaps in the literature. Another similar tool that you can use is called Ponder. And I used the same prompt, and it gave equally good answers, but the structure is different this time. So this is a document view. You can see the prompt I gave, and then the very long answer that it created. If I just shut this down, then you can see how this looks like. So here is my initial prompt. Then it breaks down the answers to certain cards. Then you can further open up. So it gives you a very structured, a very layered answer that you can go through. It gives up specific topics on the intersection of AI and minority rights that you can explore, and you can see that there are further examples. So you can feel free to cherry pick, and it's very easy to. It's very transparent to find research gaps for further idea for your research. So this is Ponder. Okay, so let's see. So you know already what you want to write about, and you need data for it. So if you ever wrote a empirical paper where you needed statistical data, hands up if you ever found yourself in that position. 1, 2, okay. Then chances are that you are familiar with Statista. Good. Then hopefully you also know that there is an AI feature of Statista. You didn't know it. Now then the very good idea is that actually not only is there an AI feature, but actually this is one of the tools that you can access with your university email address. So this is a paid subscription, but the university pays for the licenses, and it's available on an IP basis, right? So this is how the opening page looks like, and again, if you ask prompts here, you need to be as specific as possible. By the way, if you think that your prompt engineering skills are not good enough, then one of the things you can do is to use ChatGPT to improve your prompts. You're doing that also. Okay, that's a very important use case. Okay, very good. So let's say I'm writing a paper about corruption, right? So in that case, what I want to see, I'm writing about corruption in Africa. So my prompt looks as follows: generate a table identifying the 10 most corrupt countries in Africa according to Transparency International's CPI index, that is the Corruption Perception Index, for each year between 2020 and 2025. So notice that you need to give the scope very specifically, which countries you want to have data on and within which time frame, right? And include the following columns for every entry: year, country, CPI score, CPI ranking, and ensure that the output is limited to African countries, sorted from most corrupt to least corrupt for each years. And include notes where CPI data are unavailable or incomplete. That is also an important part from a research perspective. And then this is the answer that it's going to come up with, right? So here are the years. Here's a summary that between 2020 and 2024, both South Sudan and Somalia consistently ranked as the most corrupt African countries by CPI score, with a score under 10 out of 100. And then you can scroll through this data, and also you can actually download it in a CSV file, which is not so good. So it won't have, this will need some serious editing to do, right? Because it's quite messy. So maybe you will have a better, I mean, if you just simply going to copy paste it like this, I think the result will not seem better, because, well, I never tried this actually, so this is a first one for me as well. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is much better. Yeah, so don't use that button, just use a couple of additional clicks, right? So not that much of a hassle. Okay. So this is Statista. Right, now we can move on to Cite, and this is a huge one, because one of the primary use cases that you can use AI tools for is to look for literature, proper literature for your research. And there are several tools that do that, like SciSpace, for example, or Consensus, that is also pretty good. And there's also Science Direct AI, but Cite is one of the sites that is pretty popular. And so for your information, and I generated, because I wasn't sure how the connection will be, so I generated a prompt in advance. So I'm using the Pro version, so it obviously gives much better answers. Plus, you can use the assistant with much more often than you could use with the free version. But the free version is also pretty good, actually. And the reason why we're quite reluctant to give subscription to students to these kind of research assistant tools is because they are almost too good to be true, right? So if you can see with this very short prompt, generate an academic literature review on income inequality within the EU using peer-reviewed papers and empirical studies that critically evaluate the Gini index, particularly regarding its limitations in capturing inequality at the extreme ends of income distribution among the lowest and highest income groups, right? So you can dig as deep as that with the methodological question, and it will come up with very good, thorough, well-structured answers, and most importantly, the specific sources that it will mention. These are not hallucinations. So if you try to do literature search in ChatGPT, it still often hallucinates sometimes. Cite will not hallucinate, because if we use metadata from certain databases that it has an agreement with, and then it will actually come up with existing papers that you can also check out if these are open access, to check out whether these are good for you or not. if you open a paper on a site landing page, one of the things that this does that the competition does not do is this table. Yeah, well, I could have used a different example. Sorry for this one. But so it categorizes the certain citations that a given paper receives. And that's very good, because how do you build a literature review? You are not free to cherry pick only those specific literature that somehow underscores your hypotheses, right? You need to be more holistic than that. And so it's very good if you have a tool like this that shows you, okay, let's say I have a seminal piece of work, this one from Martinez, and then I can check how many citations it received and how many of those were supporting their arguments, how many of those were merely mentioning their research, and how many of those were actively contrasting what they wrote in their papers. So this is a highly usable tool if you wish to develop and find some research papers. Consensus is the same, and you nodded your head, so you obviously know this. I won't go deeper into this section. Another very good tool is called Litmaps. Hands up if you know Litmaps. Okay. Nobody else. Okay, so what's very good at this, again, let's say if you have a seminal work in your specific field. I will use the mentioned paper I wrote together with Chaki Choba as an example. And so if you click at it, it will provide you with a citation tree. But there's an edge here, because so this paper was written and published in 2024, and as you can see, there are also some papers here from 2025. That's because, and again here I'm using the free version, so if you use the free version, then the system will provide you with 20 citations, 10 of which comes from papers that I cited in my paper, right? So for example, Van der Tocht, this is one paper that we referenced in our research, right? But if I go to Banner, where is Banner? Here's Banner. Banner, this is a paper that cited my work in its list of references. And so this is is it understandable what I'm, okay, good. And so this is again a very good and interactive and simple way of finding related literature for your specific research topics. So that is litmaps.com. Grammarly. Hands up if you are included in the Grammarly. Not if you use Grammarly, because everybody uses Grammarly. It's common as salt or pepper. So are you included in the Grammarly Edu license pack? Because no, please send me an email then. Okay. So everybody who's not included in the Grammarly Edu, so you can see there in the upper left corner that this is the education version of Grammarly. So the university has 1,000 licenses, and this is one of the first AI tools or AI powered tools that we opened up for our students, because most of the tools, for the obvious reasons I mentioned, are for professors. But Grammarly is also available for students, and this is good because if you open a document, you will, on one hand, see the regular grammatic review suggestions that we all know, but it also has this section right with generative AI. And why is this good? For several reasons. Let's see if so there are several ideas that you can just play around with, like suggest counter arguments. This is something that is really good. Identify gaps. That is pretty nice, because if you upload your paper and you want there are no available human tutors that would breeze through your paper, then Grammarly surely will. And you can prompt it to kind of filter your eventual gaps that you might have in your specific paper. So what specific historical grievance in Catalonia contributed to the current minority protection challenges? So this is one gap. How do the evolving political dynamics in Spain influence the application and effectiveness of the norms-based framework of minority protection? Because that is, again, the paper's topic. So you can also you can also ask open-ended questions. So let's say you are, I don't know, trying to prepare for the defense of your thesis or something, and then you upload your thesis and you can prompt Grammarly to write 5 open-ended questions I can use to double-check my knowledge on the content of this document, and then it will do so exactly. Right? And then this is also, again, a very good way of double-checking your own knowledge on a certain topic. Plus, additionally, and this is very nice from our perspective, meaning as university educators, it has some kind of a built-in moralizer in the sense that if I give it the prompt to regenerate my introduction, that it should normally freeze. And that's exactly what it does. Right? So I will try to review your AI use. It seems you may be asking Grammarly to write your assignment for you. You naughty boy. Many instructors don't allow this. So please check your academic guidelines, which is a very good piece of advice for students. And I will also show you at the end where you can access it, because the library has an AI landing page, and we have all sorts of very important documents on that landing page. So you can still use Grammarly to support your writing process. Try a prompt designed for students. Right? So this is a very neat little feature from Grammarly. Okay, hands up if you're using Gemini. That's 1, that's 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is ChatGPT's competition from Google. One of the things you can do, and this is also true to ChatGPT, you can build a custom GPT. The functional equivalent of which is a Gemini gem, but it's better. Why is it better? Because you can provide it with a knowledge base that they can use, that the model can use to generate answers for you. So how does this work? Pretty simple. So you open Gemini Gems, you give a name to this specific model. What I was trying to build here is an academic writing model that helps me to assess my own papers, the academic quality of my own papers. And that's pretty good if you're, well, obviously you already have the pressure of having to publish your work already. And again, this is a good way to get structured feedback from an AI tool. The instruction is again pretty long if you're interested in building one of these custom Gemini gems for yourself. Again, I will be happy to give it to you. Basically, I give it I describe the purpose. So this gem provides expert graduate level feedback on academic papers. It utilizes the PDF files uploaded by the user, these, as its knowledge base, and provides rigorous, structured, and actionable guidance to improve scholarly writing. It is designed for doctoral students, early career researchers, and academics seeking professional-grade critique. And then I continued with providing the whole behavior protocol for it, how it should interact with the user, and so on and so forth. Plus, what I did is I looked for open access books that are about academic writing and methodology, and I uploaded them. to this system. And now, if I write here certain questions, so I upload my paper and I asked targeted questions about it, or sorry, first I asked it to run the review, and then it will give me a very detailed feedback on what is good, what is bad, what I can improve on the paper, and how. So it gives me actionable feedback on how I can improve my own paper. So Gemini Gems is very good, and again, if you would like to build one of these for yourself, I would be happy to send you the prompt. Who's using Notebook LM? 1, 2. Okay, so this is also very good, especially if you're having difficulties learning the traditional way, meaning that you sit down, then you open a book, maybe switch up the light and try to read the actual book. So if that doesn't really work for you, that what you can do is to transform certain content into either an audio overview or a video overview. And this takes way too much time, so I will try to look for one where I already did the job, and I can show you the...
Welcome to the deep dive. If you've been following the tech world since late 2022, you definitely remember when tools like ChatGPT just appeared for everyone.
Oh yeah.
The researchers
this is the paper that I showed to you.
Effect. And it really was. It wasn't just disruption.
And I simply uploaded the URL and clicked on audio overview. And what it does, it generates a fake podcast about that knowledge.
Totally. Trying to figure out how to adapt and fast. So today we're diving deep into how some key players responded right at the beginning. We're looking at the very first institutional reactions to manage this AI wave.
And we focus specifically on higher education, right?
Exactly. We analyzed the initial policy responses from 30 major global universities. They're all top 500 in the Shanghai ranking.
Much better, right? Much better than reading through the actual paper.
Just months after the big public release.
But in the immediate aftermath.
Yeah, what rules did they make when the panic was still pretty fresh, and how quickly did they shift from just reacting to making actual reasoned policy?
Well, what's really striking,
you can also do this kind of skeleton, this graph from the same paper to extract knowledge. This looks a bit like Ponder, so it helps you to, especially this is good to use if you have a paper that has a very difficult structure, and it helps you to really break down to have a more accessible knowledge. And then let's see if I can show you a video overview, perhaps, that I generated from a different article that I wrote about a European Citizens Initiative I did. And
so here's a question for you. What if the very systems designed to create equality in the European Union are actually leaving some of its most unique cultural regions behind? Today, we're digging into a case file, a decade-long fight that really pulls back the curtain on how power, policy, and, believe it or not, statistics can make a huge problem and a whole community of people basically invisible. Remember is that the system has a
yeah, so I don't want to show you the whole thing, but so the thing is that you can do this audio video overview, and actually if you want to do a brief one, that's perhaps even better, because you saw this was the explainer about a research paper, and it was like 7 minutes long. The brief one is like somewhere between 1 and 2 minutes, and you can also choose a specific style, or you can give a style yourself. So if you want it in, I don't know, in the style of Federico Fellini, because he's your favorite movie director, then you can prompt it to produce that kind of video content. Or if you're a fan of anime, you can just generate a kawaii thing. And I would just leave it here. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to generate something by the end of this workshop, but I will leave it here. Okay, so And now we are entering the realm of visualization. So how many of you are familiar with Napkin? 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So this is extremely simple, right? So if you ever found yourself in a situation that you need infographics or any kind of simple pictures describing your paper, then this is probably the best tool for you. So what did I do here? Again, I put in, so you don't need any kind of prompt engineering skills for this. This is just copy paste work. Okay, so what I did is, again, from the same research paper, I copy pasted these 4 basic pillars that we used to our analysis. And what you now do is to click simply on this blue light bulb thing to generate visuals. And then it creates some very neat possibilities, the possibilities of which are endless. So really you can feel free to choose which one is perhaps better, professional, which one you like relative to others. There is really a lot of possibilities. Okay, let's say I like this one. Right, so you stick with it, but again, even here you can change a lot of things, change like colors, outline, and so on and so forth. So it's really a very good tool for you to explore. And then, of course, if you are ready with tweaking the actual infographic that you want to use, for example, in your dissertation, then what you can do, well, you can turn off the Napkin logo, because for that you would need a subscription, but that's fine. At least that's transparency, because your professors can see which tool you actually used to create that. Color mode should be normally light, and the background, that's highly recommended to turn it off, because then you will have a PNG image that you can place also into a PPT presentation if you need to give a presentation about your research topic, which you need to do a lot, I assume. So it's very good, and then you just simply download it in the PNG format, and voila, there you have it. You can insert it into your dissertation or your PPT. Okay, last but not least, some sources. So if you just go on the opening page of the university, let's switch this to English. Da-da-da-dum. Research University Library. Yeah, there it is. So it's pretty close on the opening page. Artificial intelligence, and here you have. This is our landing page, all the useful info that you can get. This is the regulations that we've been talking to. This one is the one that pertains to you. So just so you know about it, this is, so the 6/2025 is what pertains to BA and MA students, and for researchers and PhD students, it's this one. It's 12/2025. Executive Committee provisions on the use of artificial intelligence system. Please read this. Use ChatPDF if you need to, but this is something that, please read this, okay? This is important. And more importantly, it's legally binding also to you, okay? So please read it. And otherwise, you can also have on this landing page certain online presentations. So if you want to see a bit more of my face, then you can do so on the university homepage in both Hungarian and English language, so you can develop your knowledge. Plus a very good source if you, well, we made a survey on this, so we know for a fact that ChatGPT is the most popular tool among students. So I'm very confident to recommend OpenAI's very own online academy because it has very good stuff, free of charge mostly, and this comes directly from the source. And I think this is important because you have many con artists on social media figuring out various things on how you can use ChatGPT for pretty much anything. I think it's better to go directly to the source and what the source company actually tells you to do. Because, for example, you can read many prompt engineering frameworks, right? Like the Ryzen framework and blah, blah. Well, the very simplest, the OpenAI took some more simplistic stance. They say that a prompt should consist only of two specific parts: context and expectation. That's it. Nothing fancy. Questions, if you have.
So just to summarize, so would you say that prompt is very much important when you look for articles and lit review, etc.? So because I'm lazy, so I just write very.
Well, I mean, so if in consensus you can give in like keywords, but usually when it comes to other platforms like Site, for example, the longer and more precise your prompt, the better the results will be. And if you use platforms like Statista AI, if your prompt is not specific enough, then you will not get any kind of results that you would be able to use. So do not be lazy on your prompting. This is immeasurably, a researcher's life today is immeasurably more easier than even 5 years ago. So at least let's take this effort to write prompts. Okay. Yeah.
Just one more question. Because you showed the Gemini gems.
Yeah.
But I think in the ChatGPT there's a kind of similar version like that.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between the two?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, you can build a custom GPT. The difference is that in Gemini gems you can also upload sources so that the model would use as its knowledge base. That's available in ChatGPT. Okay, then you're more knowledgeable than I am. Good. Okay. Then the model is different. So the language model is different because obviously OpenAI and Google, they are competitors. So they use different language models. So in that case, it will be interesting to test it. That's what I would recommend. So build a custom GPT, build a Gemini gems, and just compare the results. Which one's better?
Okay.
Yeah.
But it just felt like that last years I was using Perplexity for my lit review, but I think now it's getting a bit worse, kind of, or GPT is getting better, I don't know. So in GPT I got more literature, and that was really relevant, surprisingly, because it was not like that 2-3 years ago. So I think GPT is also okay for literature review to look for.
Well, if you want to use it for searching for relevant papers, then you should do a deep research. But I think that's only available if you pay for it. So I need to double check that. But if you are adamant on using ChatGPT, then you should use deep research, because then the model takes like at least 15-20 minutes of time to actually go through a lot of data and compiling it, and then it will at the end of the answer it will also give you a kind of a bibliography, so a list of references that you can again double check. So yeah, that's also something that you can do. But you know, the bottom line is that it's really much more easier to do research in the age of generative AI. I mean, these tools help immensely to reduce the time of you getting actual quality input that you would need for your research. Yeah, you just need to double check the outputs that you receive so that you are free from hallucinations, because and this is where the AI regulation comes into place, the ultimate responsibility rests always with you as the human user. So if you submit your dissertation with total BS information, right, and non-existent literature, you can't say that, oh, it was OpenAI's fault. No, it's your fault. It's going to be your fault. So always double check it.